I'm Elizabeth Hampton, and I'm here to talk to you about what a date rape drug really is and its effects on its survivors. A date rape drug is defined as a drug that causes temporary loss in memory in order for someone to rape or sexually abuse a person. Now, the term date rape itself is a little misleading, as the person who commits the crime, the rapist, is typically not on a date or even dating the person they plan to rape. Sometimes this person is a stranger, but often enough, the rapist is someone the survivor has already met or even knows well. The three most common date rape drugs are Rohypnol, GHB, and ketamine. To begin with, I'm going to start by discussing Rohypnol. You may also hear it called roofies, rope, whiteys, and R2. It's illegal in the US, but used by prescription in other countries for certain sleeping disorders. It's an oval-shaped olive green pill that dissolves quickly in liquid, producing a bluish-green dye, but is typically covered up by your alcoholic beverage anyway. Its effects begin to set in only 20 to 30 minutes after indigestion and can cause amnesia for up to 8 hours. Its common effects include feeling as if you are very drunk, you typically have slurred speech, a decreased pulse, and yet an increased blood pressure. You may also have a loss of muscle control and begin to feel very sleepy. This drug remains in your blood for only 4 to 6 hours, but can remain in your urine for up to 48. Now, GHB, on the other hand, is often a liquid with a salty or plastic-like taste, but this flavor can easily be distinguished in margaritas and other fruity drinks. It may also come as a white powder or pill, but is most commonly found in liquid form. GHB is used as a steroid alternative for bodybuilders and is illegally produced, as it is illegal in the US. You may also hear it called cherry meth, liquid ecstasy, salt water, or G-juice. This drug works as a sedative and at high doses can cause nausea and drowsiness, as well as often causing sudden vomiting and involuntary muscle jerking. When on this drug, your breathing can lower to a scary 6 breaths per minute, and GHB leaves the blood after only 4 to 5 hours and only remains in the urine for up to 12. Lastly, there's ketamine, which comes as a white powder and is often called Special K, Jet, or Super Acid. It takes only as little as 5 to 20 minutes for its effects to begin to take place and may last anywhere between 2 to 8 hours. It can cause slurred speech, immechanical movements, monotone speech, and even hallucinations. Ketamine is no longer in the blood after 24 hours, but remain in the urine for up to a total of 48. Now, I know I have just thrown many specific facts about each of these drugs at you, and you may be feeling a little overwhelmed. But the short story is that these drugs are easy to disguise, begin working quickly, cause you to forget what happened, and leave your body very quickly. Although this video is about drugs like GHB and such, it is very important not to overlook the biggest drug there is, alcohol. Since alcohol is obviously legal in the US, it is easy to access and is common at college parties and in bars where people are mingling. Now, since alcohol is not all that hard to come by and is in all of these places, or you may be consuming it already, it is not all that hard for someone to take advantage of you once intoxicated and make you think that it's okay for something to happen. But please remember, once intoxicated at all, you are unable to give consent. Alcohol remains in the urine from typically between 12 and 36 hours. This amount of time varies per person, as body type, weight, amount of fat, ranges from each person and the alcohol level you have intaken. People who are raped under the influence of these drugs have an experience without really having an experience. Now, this phrase may sound a little confusing, so let me break it down. When you go on an adventure, say on vacation, you have this experience and these emotions that come with it that you've lived through and can recall time after time throughout your life. These could include snorkeling in Belize, laying on the beach in Mexico, or even a date with a cute guy from the coffee shop. But these rape victims, yes, technically have the experience of being raped, but don't have the emotions that come with that experience, as they are unable to have no recollection of it. Drugs like Rohypnol and GHB cause the person to lose memory of what happened and can go into an amnesia-like state for hours, therefore waking up without any memory of what happened throughout the night. First, upon waking up, the survivor may not even be sure as what had happened or that they'd even been raped. Often survivors wake up confused and disoriented. This partly may be because of the drug's effects still in place, making it hard to think clearly, but also as they struggle to remember what went down the night before. Good indicators that one may have been raped or sexually assaulted with assistance from these drugs include your clothes being torn or not on quite right in the morning, feeling as if you had had sex but don't remember doing it, recalling nothing shortly after a drink, or having your last memories from the night before, or you feeling very drunk but remembering that you had not drank very much at all. The loss of memory that a survivor experiences with a drug-associated rape may make the recovery process more difficult than for a survivor of a forced rape situation. This is often because, for most people, part of the recovery process involves remembering and working through the memories and emotions associated with this situation and experience. But for these survivors, there's nothing to look back on, which may cause more conflict within. Along with these emotions, a survivor of a drug-oriented rape is more likely to blame themselves for the rape, as they struggle to make logical sense of what had happened because they have no memory of the event. They also feel as if they were unable to care for themselves, since in their mind they were unable to notice someone drugging them, which can have a large mental impact compared to a survivor that had a forced rape situation. But please keep in mind, in no way whatsoever is rape ever the survivor's fault. It is never to be blamed on the survivor, as it is always the rapist's fault. Rape statistics are difficult to pull together as many rapes go unreported. According to the National Institute of Justice, only a mere 16% of all rapes are reported to law enforcement. They also found that survivors of drug-associated rape were somewhat less likely to report than those of forced rape. As stated earlier, the lack of memory is hard on the survivor itself, but it also causes issues in court cases. With little evidence from the survivor and their memory, it is hard to prove and even harder without a rape kit. There are many reasons for a survivor to report or not to report, as we all deal with difficult experiences differently, but for some, this impacts their choice. Now, no one should have to be super cautious or have to take all these precautions in order to help themselves prevent being raped, but unfortunately, this world's pretty fucked up and society has allowed a rape culture to appear, allowing too many rapists to walk freely and leaving too many survivors at the blame. So as we try to overcome this rape culture, here are a few ways for you to stay safe. First, always watch your drink, whether it's at a party, at a bar, or just in general. You've probably been told this time and time again, but if you set it down and lose sight for even 5 seconds, don't drink out of it. Although someone drugging your drink is not all that common, and the alcohol itself that you are drinking is probably the bigger drug, is it really worth that risk? Secondly, always have a friend, and preferably a sober one's probably your smarter option. Someone to watch out for you, someone who can see that although your drunk mind thinks that it's a grand idea to slip out of the party with that cute guy who's been hitting on you all night and head back to his place, it's not. And this person will help stop such horrible behavior. In addition, technology and the wonderful brains in this world are coming up with items that can help detect a drugged drink. 4 students at NC State University actually created a nail polish that works similarly to a chlorine strip for your pool, in that the polish itself changes color when in contact with these drugs. All one has to do is dip it in their drink or stir their drink with their finger, and the reaction will take place if necessary. Although sexual assault by non-recreational drugs, as the ones listed in this video, is far less common, it is still very important that we take precautions, as the after assault may be more damaging. So please, be smart, be safe, but remember to have fun. Thanks!